What's up, guys? It's Casey Zolman, aka the fourth Sanderson sister, coming at you with the final video in my Hocus Pokemon trilogy. In the last two videos, we built teams for Winifred and Mary, which you can watch by clicking on these cards right here. In today's video, we are building the Pokemon team I think would be the perfect match for the youngest Sanderson sister, Sarah. So without further ado, let's send Sarah Sanderson out on her Pokemon journey. Sarah prepares to pick her first Pokemon, and as with the last two, I'm not doing the traditional fire, water, or grass choice. No, for Sarah, she needs something totally compatible with her personality. Something adorable to lure unsuspecting people into their clutches. Something with a power of its own that meshes very well with hers. Something like the adorable, big-eyed, pink little fluff ball, Jigglypuff. The normal fairy-type Jigglypuff is the perfect starter Pokemon for Sarah, as its Pokedex entry states, Jigglypuff has top-notch lung capacity, even by comparison to other Pokemon. It won't stop singing its lullabies until its foes fall asleep. Jigglypuff has a voice that hypnotizes its foes. Who do we know with the exact same power? Duh. Sarah's unique power is vocal magic that ensnares her victims in her spell and allows her full suggestive control over their actions. Jigglypuff also has two different abilities that mimic Sarah completely. Cute Charm and Competitive. Cute Charm affects Pokemon of the opposite gender when hit with a physical attack, causing them to become infatuated with that Pokemon. Infatuation status causes the opponent to sometimes become immobilized by love and completely unable to attack. Jigglypuff's Cute Charm ability mimics Sarah's sheer attractiveness, as many men and boys would fall head over heels for her. You know, before eventually disappearing altogether. The ability Competitive causes an increase in the special attack stat when another stat is lowered. So Jigglypuff gets a power boost when another Pokemon lowers its stats. Competitive also mimics the estranged relationship between Sarah and Winifred, as when Winifred scolds Sarah, lowering her self-esteem, she works that much harder to do better. Being a normal fairy type, it only has two weaknesses, steel and poison types, so it can take hits pretty well, especially if it puts opponents to sleep with the move Sing first. But Sarah's cautious nature would keep it out of harm's way most of the time anyway. Between Jigglypuff's hypnotic voice and the abilities Cute Charm or Competitive, it is the perfect partner for Sarah to begin her journey with. They'd fly through the sky together, enchanting people as they soar and causing the most mysterious disappearances in towns across the colonies. Now, Sarah and Jigglypuff are having a fantastic time together and becoming very close. However, as the pair travel together, they run across a villager chasing a small pink feline out of the town. He screams at the cat that no witches' familiars will reside in this town. Sarah, feeling sorry for the little feline, approaches it with her friendly Jigglypuff, only to find this little kitty is scared to death. She soothes it with her singing and adds a new friend to her team, Skitty. Skitty, with the help of a moonstone, will evolve into the delicate, purple-coated Delcatty, which Sarah will call her own familiar. Delcatty's Pokedex entry reads, Delcatty prefers to live an unfettered existence in which it can do as it pleases at its own pace. Because this Pokemon eats and sleeps whenever it decides, its daily routines are completely random. This type of Pokemon is perfect for Sarah's team as it spends its day without a schedule. Sarah, as we all know, has the attention span of a kitten and does things at random all the time.
to chop the wood to burn us.
Hold me.
What a pretty spider.
To slowly...
Explain what?
Like that.
There. Oh, I can't. They've gone too far. I've lost them.
I'll have your guts for garters, girl. Confound. Why, it's a road. My book.
Delcatty do as they please, regardless of what others say, so it makes perfect sense that Sarah would have it on her team as she moves to the beat of her own drum, vibing on her own most of the time that we see her. Delcatty can also learn the move Sing in its pre-evolution of Skitty, which, as we know, pairs well with Sarah's own magic, and it also has the Cute Charm ability. The other ability this Pokemon can possess is Normalize. Normalize turns all of its moves to the normal type and boosts their power. Using this ability would increase Delcatty's power, and if Sarah could learn to increase her own range, it would pair well with her. So for Sarah's second team member, look no further than sweet little Delcatty. With Jigglypuff and Skitty by her side, Sarah pushes forward looking for new ways to cause some havoc. As she travels along the woods of New England, she accidentally bumps into a little pink and blue Pokemon with no arms, the tiniest feet, and the cutest hat she's ever seen. Sarah must have it, so she sends out Jigglypuff to help her weaken and capture her next friend, Hatteran. Hatteran evolves into Hatteran, and finally, Hatteran, a psychic fairy type. Hatteran is a gorgeous humanoid Pokemon bearing a witch's hat and an extremely calm demeanor. Considering its Pokedex entry reads, if you're too loud around it, you risk being torn apart by the claws on its tentacle. This Pokemon is also known as the Forest Witch. One can imagine that it is extremely important for this thing to be calm at all times. The problem is, this Pokemon will be a challenge for Sarah to train, as strong emotions around this Pokemon can get you brutally murdered. Being torn apart by its claws for being too loud is a scary thought. For Sarah, this will be a learning experience for both her and Hatteran, as Hatteran would teach her to be calmer in certain situations lest she be torn to shreds, and Sarah would teach it to loosen the heck up. Or at least not attack her. However, this Pokemon would be instrumental in all of the torture we assume happens to Sarah's victims off-screen, as she has the scariest freaking comments about possible targets.
Hang him on a hook and let me play with him.
No!
No, let me play with him.
Hatteran would play into those games extremely well, as the strong emotions of fear and screaming from Sarah's victims will cause it to fly into a fit of fury and potentially rip them apart. This Pokemon has two abilities that can benefit Sarah's team, and those are Anticipation and Healer. Anticipation allows Hatteran to read the foe's most dangerous move and give a warning to its trainer. Healer allows the Pokemon to sometimes heal an ally's status condition. So for Sarah on her journey, Hatteran having the ability to predict the foe's most dangerous move, or have a healer to help her if she's sick, is critical. Now let's move on to the next one, because this section got dark in a hurry. Now that Sarah has 3 team members by her side, she continues wandering through the forest of New England. Upon resting one night, she spies a faint glow several meters away. Ever curious, Sarah takes the opportunity to go investigate. The shining lights almost call to her as she moves closer and closer until she finds the source of the radiant glow. A small horse, no, not a horse, a unicorn with a fluffy, glowing mane gallops around a clearing. Sarah is instantly in love with this little creature, and with Jigglypuff and Hatteran by her side, she captures a new friend, Galerian Ponyta. Galerian Ponyta will evolve into Galerian Rapidash, another psychic fairy type. Its Pokedex entry says, brave and prideful, this Pokemon dashes airily through the forest, its steps aided by the psychic power stored in the fur on its fetlocks. Galerian Rapidash moves swiftly on land while Sarah moves swiftly and airily on her broom. We can gather from Hocus Pocus that Sarah might be the strongest flyer in her family as she pulls off one of the more difficult stunts when fighting in the graveyard. To see her flying on her broom with her Galerian Rapidash running just below would be a beautiful sight. Not to mention this Pokemon takes most hits incredibly well unless they are Ghost, Poison, or Steel types. Its prideful nature also matches well with Sarah's pride in her looks, so nothing better wound that pride lest they pay the consequences. Galerian Rapidash has two special abilities that would be great for Sarah to make use of: Runaway and Pastel Veil. Runaway allows for an instant escape from a wild Pokemon, so she'd be able to use Runaway to get the heck out of Dodge should something go awry in her plans. Pastel Veil prevents poisoning, which helps with the residual effects of one of Galerian Rapidash's biggest weaknesses, poison. Pastel Veil would keep Sarah and her crew, which involves quite a few fairy types, safe when facing another witch who might not have their best interests in mind. Galerian Rapidash makes a fantastic fourth team member for Sarah. After several more days of traveling, now upon Galarian Ponyta's back, Sarah and her team make it to the East Coast. They happen upon a fishing village near the ocean, and Sarah uses her feminine charms to get her and her team something to eat. And as they are searching for an inn to rest in, they pass the docks and hear a man cry out, "Ugh, throw this ugly beast back into the brink." Sarah watches as they heave a 2-foot fish with big bug eyes and brown spots back into the ocean. Only it hits the sand and flops around weakly. Sarah, feeling bad for the fish, hurries to look it over. She can sense power from it, and even though it was ugly, she found it rather cute. Sarah decided to catch this little Pokemon, and as soon as she called it beautiful, it evolved into the water type, Melodic. Melodic evolves from the ugly Feebas, and its Pokedex entry states, Melodic is said to be the most beautiful of all the Pokemon. It has the power to become such emotions as anger and hostility to quell bitter feuding. Feebas evolving into Melodic is really a testament for how Sarah becomes beautiful at the beginning of Hocus Pocus. Feebas is called one of the ugliest Pokemon, and in order for it to evolve into Melodic, its trainer must max out its beauty attribute for Pokemon contests. This is done by feeding it homemade treats called Pokeblocks that specifically raise its beauty attribute. In a way, it's like a beauty potion. Sarah, in the beginning of Hocus Pocus, was old and haggard like her sisters, but when she uses the potion, her beauty returns, and
I'm beautiful. Boys will love me.
Melodic has two abilities that would make it useful to Sarah's team: Competitive, which we spoke of earlier, or Marvel Scale. Marvel Scale boosts Melodic's defense if it has a status condition such as poison or paralysis. Marvel Scale would allow Melodic to defend the fairy types in Sarah's team, even in the face of poison attacks, as it could fight back through the toxicity. Melodic would be near and dear to Sarah's heart as it became beautiful from ugliness. Sarah traveled for a while longer, leaving a string of mysterious disappearances in her wake. With her team by her side, Sarah decides to take up residence outside a colony to train her magic even more. The nearby village is full of garbage and filthy people exiled from their homes for one reason or another. This gives her the idea to try out some new spells and potions on these sad sacks of flesh. However, she has very little experience actually brewing potions, so she gives it her best shot. A few times. Each one ends in messy failure, and she throws each one out the door. One day, after botching another attempt at life potion and throwing it out, her brew begins to move across the ground. The smell surrounding this purple glob of sludge is foul, but it's nothing Sarah hasn't smelled before because, potions. That's when she notices the two eyes and huge mouth as the sludge oozes into a standing position. It's another Pokemon, and it honestly looks so happy to see her. It has been eating the potions she throws out. Sarah smiles at the purple blob of ooze, and it grins back happily. She catches her 6th and final team member, and it's a... No, I did not just add this Pokemon to her team for that joke. How dare you insinuate such a thing? Muck is actually a really good final team member for Sarah, as it will be there to help clean up her messes and mistakes. Its Pokedex entry reads, "This Pokemon's favorite food is anything that is repugnantly filthy. In dirty towns where people think nothing of throwing away litter on the streets, Muck are certain to gather." If Sarah messes up a potion or spell, Muck will be there to eat up the mistake and get rid of the evidence before Winifred can find out. Speaking of evidence, remember what we talked about with Hatteran? Muck would be the perfect Pokemon to clean up the crime scene, as anything it touches pretty much dissolves instantly. Muck is a corrosive Pokemon that poisons people with a single touch and kills plant life with a single drop of sludge. Sarah could use this Pokemon to get rid of someone who might know too much about her and her sisters, as one drop of sludge can contaminate an entire freaking lake. Muck's sludge in a man's drink and that's the end of him! Plus, Muck is completely purple, and that fits Sarah's color scheme perfectly. Muck is also quiet and very friendly, which is off-putting for most trainers, but again, Sarah would see it as a cute little mess cleaner and keep it around. Finally, Sarah has perfected her own life potion and enhanced her vocal magic range to all ages of human. No one is resistant of her power, and she feels strong enough to go back home with her new Pokemon friends. As she journeys back, singing along with her Jigglypuff and Delcatty, she hears a 4th voice echoing along with them. Rapidash, Muck, Melodic, and Hatteran jump into high alert as their songstress stops singing. As soon as she stops, the voice stops. Sarah shushes her Pokemon and sings a little bit again, and suddenly there's the voice. She walks with her Pokemon and keeps singing melodies as the voice matches until she senses the presence of a very powerful being. Sarah observes her surroundings until she sees a small pixie-like creature sitting in a tree watching her back. She looks at the Pokemon harmonizing with her, and their eyes meet. The little pixie floats down and hovers just in front of her. Sarah knows she will need to battle, defeat, and maybe even catch this new friend. After a long-fought battle, Jigglypuff deals the finishing blow, and Sarah has captured the heart of her mythical guardian, Meloetta. This mythical Pokemon's Pokedex entry says, "The melodies sung by Meloetta have the power to make Pokemon that hear them happy or sad." Meloetta would be instantly attracted to Sarah's hypnotic tones and harmonize with her to help control the feelings of those under her spell. Meloetta has 2 different forms as well, Aria and Pirouette. Aria form makes her a normal psychic type, and Pirouette is normal fighting. Interchanging forms will allow for special attack and physical attack prowess in battle. Its ability Serene Grace boosts the likelihood of secondary effects of attacks taking place in battle. If a move causes flinch, paralysis, poison, etc., Serene Grace boosts the chance of those effects happening. This would be helpful for Sarah if she is up against a strong opponent. As she can only carry 6 Pokemon at a time, Meloetta would come and go if Sarah sings a special melody to summon her. So there we have it. Those are my picks for the perfect team for Sarah Sanderson. Jigglypuff, Delcatty, Hatteran, Melodic, Galerian Rapidash, and Muck. Meloetta rounds out her team as her mythical guardian. What do you guys think? Do you agree with my picks, or would you substitute a Pokemon somewhere? Let me know in the comments down below. As always, if you are new to my channel, please drop a like and subscribe if you haven't. It's free, it helps me, and what helps me helps you guys get more great content like this. We are trying very hard to reach 1,000 subscribers before Hocus Pocus 2 comes out tentatively on October 1st. We have a lot of fun stuff coming out this year because it is the release year of Hocus Pocus 2. You guys are going to want to stick around for all of it. And if you guys are a regular on my channel, please remember to drop that like anyway and share your thoughts down below, as I know you guys are awesome at doing. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Casey Zogelman, aka the 4th Sanderson sister, and I will see you guys next time.
I am